Good morning. It is, November 16th, 2022, 9 a.m. straight up. It's on a Wednesday. A.m. I usually, come on, I usually have that computer muted, so I don't have to do that. So obviously I have audio confirmation. Good morning, everybody. So, Windows Daily 97, what on earth is he going to talk about today? I don't see any questions in the chat room for me for topics. And as you know, for those of you who have been watching my Windows Daily shows, I've been kind of changing the format a little bit, trying some different things. And today is another rendition or another incremental move along those lines. So what I'm going to be talking about during this show is a change that I'm going to start implementing as of this show, which is bringing Zoom into Windows Daily. But it's different implementation than what we do on Saturdays. On Saturdays, I have the same credentials every Saturday. The people who have those credentials come in as they choose and essentially hang out, and they're not coming in with any particular questions. They're going to be part of the crew, I might say, to discuss technical topics or whatever the topic is at hand. So with Windows Daily, Monday through Friday, what I'm going to do different with that is I'll publish credentials for Zoom in the chat room. The credentials will change every day, so that you have to click in the chat room to come into Zoom. And I'll be publishing those credentials before the session starts, before the live stream starts. I will have the waiting room enabled, and I'm only going to bring one person on screen at a time. And it's completely fine if you don't want to turn your camera on and just have a conversation. And what I want that to be used for is for questions or to discuss Windows-oriented topics. This is not a chit chat. This is not a visiting session. And it's not a BS session. What I want to do is make this available for people who come in to the Zoom session. I'll bring them in one at a time from the waiting room. Probably only have one person on most sessions. I'd rather it just be one person come in, we deal with a subject, and then I can title that day's daily, I almost called it Daily Da Vinci, Windows Daily. Well, title that something appropriate to the topic that we discussed, so that I can have Windows Daily be focused on one topic per video, that I can title it appropriately. So I don't know how well this is going to fly, and just trying a little more revision. And I'm also working on some other marketing videos. Now this topic is all of what today's going to be about, is this new method. So I'm going to go ahead and daily Fortnite, Dennis suggests. I'm going to go ahead and paste this into chat. By the way, I had a little bit of a technical frustration this morning myself, because I got an XSplit update occurred. Let's see, I got to turn on my picture-in-picture so you can see me talking without that mirror effect. I'm going to paste those the Zoom credentials for today. Now, the idea behind that is you can click on that link in the chat room and you'll come into the waiting room for the Zoom session. I'm not actually wanting for you to come in today with a new topic. I'm just putting in that credential there that you can see it. And if you want to click on that and try it out, we'll bring you in and just say hello. And because I'm not going to title today's video on a topic. Well, today's title is going to be something along the line of Zoom availability during Windows Daily. That's not a good name, but it's going to be something along the lines that indicates that Zoom sessions are available in Windows Daily. And what I'm asking for is people to come in with a Windows topic to discuss or me to respond to. Now, it could be things such as Doug, have you ever worked with SQL Server, or what do you know about it? Or Doug, what programming languages have you been involved in? Or it could be, I had a friend with a yeah, it's a friend of mine, right? I had a friend with a problem with their monitor, and we did find the solution. But Doug, how would you handle the question under this set of criteria? Meaning you tell me what information that you knew about the situation, and I would respond to that. And the whole idea behind that type of question is not that I'm giving you the right way to respond to it or to deal with that troubleshooting, but just we're exploring ideas and methods to deal with that situation together. I had a client call yesterday that had a problem with their file server. She couldn't get logged on to it. The screen was just black. So how did I go about handling that? Of course, that would be one of my stories that I bring to the episode, to the Windows Daily episode, if nobody comes in with a question. It could be something like, Doug, how much money do you typically make in a year? That's okay. I can discuss that with you. And you don't have to ask those questions in the Zoom session, of course. You can ask questions like that in the chat room. It's just once in a while, I think bringing somebody into a Zoom session to have another voice would be kind of a nice change of pace a little bit. There may be occasions when I invite someone else to come in to verbally, audibly discuss what they've been posting in chat. If sounds like they've got more to talk about or more to offer on the subject that they've been giving in chat. So here's somebody that has come into Zoom. I just heard a doorbell, and I'm going to go bring Gary Weisenberger into the session. Whoops, wait a minute, he's not there. I guess he just tried it. I guess he just tried ringing the doorbell. He's not there anymore. If somebody wants to come in and just say hello and maybe demonstrate to the audience what it's going to look like, and you can choose to have your camera off if you want to. If you're a person that I don't know already, I'm going to turn your camera off, and I'll bring the Zoom session on screen without your camera on, just to show the placeholder for the person who's talking. And the reason for that is just because of the possibility of some misbehaving people who we've had trouble with before when we publish Zoom credentials. Again, these Zoom credentials will be different each day. So now I'm going to go take a look at chat and see what people are saying in response to this, or in regards to whatever they're saying in chat at all, and just say hello to people. And maybe I'll get back to describing the frustration I had this morning with XSplit. Tony Wallow, hello. Parker Morris, hello. Robert RM, hello. Dennis. George Armstrong, hello. And let's see. Typical Gamer just went live. Typical Gamer is a YouTuber, a Fortnite YouTuber. Jeff Ryman, hello to you. Don't worry, Doug, he's not playing Fortnite. Yeah. Like, Typical Gamer is competition to me. I don't think so. Selden Ball, hello. Tony says AV and DVR good. Motley crew it is that we have here. Yes, indeed. And very, very interesting subjects that we get into. Hello, Rick Lakes. Daily Fortnite has another title. There's the Zoom credentials, so you should be able to just click on that. Now, Gary, let's see, what does Gary say? Did not see it was Zoom, I am at work. Oh, he just clicked on the link. I get it. Yeah, that's a Zoom credential. And so, Gary, that means you did click on that. So that gives me confirmation that that link is good. It does work. Josh says, good idea, Dennis. I'm assuming that means the name Daily Fortnite. Tony Wallow, Daily Da Vinci, I think he's probably saying. Yeah, because I almost called my show Daily Da Vinci. Now, Ken Stout does have a premiere scheduled to start at the bottom of the hour. Just seems like a weird way to say it. 30 minutes after the hour. So I'm probably going to be finishing well before that, I think. Because I don't feel like I have that much to talk about. Rick Lake says hello. Now we have a daily downpour. So is that another show name, a YouTube show name, Daily Downpour? Chris, hello to you. I tried to make it on time, got no internet. Somehow my modem got unplugged. That would cause a problem. That's Gary's comment again. Lawn Dog, I do want to participate, but I need to think about what I can do is a proposal for something to work on. Also, today isn't a good day unless you can help me fix my car. Well, okay, so there's another thing. Yeah, no, I was going to offer personal questions in Windows Daily, but no, I really want to keep them on Windows topics. I did do a live session on Ken Stout's show where I joined his show and was open to personal questions as well. And that would include my work history. Well, I did in the past open and own and operate my own auto repair business. In high school, I spent a lot of time in auto mechanics shop and did work in the field for a while after I got out of school. Hang on. And then let's go on. Camshaft sensor replacement. Yeah, what we did in my shop was pull engines out of cars and send them to the machine shop when engines needed to be rebuilt. Anyone else seeing my messages here? Yeah, Rick, I'm seeing your messages. I'm not sure what that is in reference to. Zvi, do you update a program like XSplit automatic or you update it after checking about the update? Good question. So let's take that into this conversation right now then. What I had with XSplit today is I launched XSplit, and by the way, I'm launching it using Power Automate, where I have some things automated. So when I finish my Fortnite game, the Power Automate, which is think of it as a macro, automated keystrokes. It schedules my next Fortnite play. It changes my YouTube from the Fortnite channel to this channel. It exits Fortnite. It exits OBS, Streamlabs OBS Prime. It exits that program. It closes down my Chrome browser, reopens my Chrome browser with the new signed in with Live Windows Training. It launches XSplit for me automatically. By the way, when it schedules my next stream for Fortnite, it has to calculate what the date is for tomorrow, and it enters that date and it enters the time into the scheduled stream. So I'm still working out some bugs in that. It's not been a slam dunk. So anyway, it automatically launched XSplit for me, and I got a message saying there's an update. I've been delaying it. I've been answering no for a few days. So I finally said, all right, I'll answer yes and see how it goes during today's stream. So here's the frustration part is it did the update, then told me there's updates for my plugins. So I did those updates. And then I went to press my buttons on my Stream Deck to bring up the scene that I wanted to start with, and it didn't work. Stream Deck just flat out did not work. You know what? I think I told that sequence out of, I said that out of sequence because there was a message up at the top of XSplit saying that some of my plugins have updates that need to be updated. So I hadn't yet clicked on that. So I figured, okay, I'll go update those. Well, there were two things that needed update. Neither of them were Stream Deck. So I went ahead and did those updates, and it still didn't work. So I closed XSplit, reopened XSplit. The buttons on Stream Deck still don't work. And I'm thinking, okay, how bad is this going to be? Because in the past, I have actually uninstalled the XSplit update to get back to a functioning state until I could have some time to work out what the problem was. This time it wasn't quite that difficult. All I had to do was close the Stream Deck software from the, let's see, I'll go show that over here, right? Because I can show things instead of just describing. Down here in the bottom right corner, let's turn off that picture-in-picture. Down here in the bottom right corner, there's the Stream Deck, and I right-click on it and choose Quick Stream Deck, and then I relaunch it from this pinned icon over here on my taskbar. Are you seeing that? Yeah, you are. And then it worked. Then we were good, back to functioning. So I decided, okay, I'm not going to be mad at XSplit after all, because I was all primed and ready to be upset at XSplit's update again because of the troubles I've had in the past. Now, another part of Zvi's question there, the question is, do I update a program like XSplit automatically, or do I update after checking about the update? I rarely go click seeking an update, but most of the programs that I have, I think, are set for automatic updates. I don't go seeking an update unless I'm having trouble, unless I'm having a problem. And if a program prompts me for an update, I will judge whether I have time right now to deal with a complication if it doesn't go smoothly, if it's not working right afterwards. Dennis says that that other Fortnite streamer that I don't, typical gamer, he's playing Duty Warzone 2. Doug, is there a way to see my screen during the demonstration of a problem? Yes, Lawn Dog, because you're a person that I know, I would be willing to let you share your screen. So you could come into the Zoom session and I would have to click a button on my side to allow you to share your screen, and then you would be able to share your screen, and I'd be happy to talk you through that, how to do that during the Windows Daily session. So yes, good point there. Because that's a way for you to show me your screen without me having to connect remotely to your computer. Although that also is available during Windows Daily. During a demonstration of a problem, sometimes terminology gets in the way. Absolutely. Yes, we can do that. Rick Lake says, I guess not. Anyone else seeing my messages here? I guess not. Rick, what are you concerned about? Yes, we are seeing your messages. Let's see. Then there's a message retracted. Oh, a couple of people saying, yes, you're visible in chat. Okay, so I think he's okay now. Okay, was not sure if my messages were being seen. YouTube for me is acting funny this morning. Well, that's good. It's giving you comic relief this morning. YouTube's making you laugh. That sounds like a good, enjoyable, fun thing. Gary, are you sure it is not a problem with the ECM? That's to Lawn Dog. Screen during the I don't know what the problem is. Oh, camshaft sensor. Yeah, Lawn Dog, if you come in to the Zoom session during a Windows Daily, you could share your screen showing the problem with your camshaft sensor. I think there's two different conversations going on there. Wow, Doug, got so interesting tidbit of information about your mechanical ability, similar to mine. Lots of time in auto shop, and that education has helped me through all these years. There was a period of time during my senior year of high school in vocational auto mechanics. That's a 3-hour stint. I could take a morning class or an afternoon class. And I was in the morning class, and for my other classes during the one semester of my senior year, they were all independent study. So I did the work outside of class and would report to my advisor like once a week on those 2 or 3 classes that I was taking independent study. So in the afternoons, I was in the auto shop. So I was working essentially 8-hour days in the auto shop as a senior in high school. Though I was never a mechanic, I did work in a tune-up shop for a summer, did light repairs, never really serious auto mechanics. Lawn Dog to Gary, yeah, the sensor has given codes for years. It will go away if I clean around the sensor, but now it's acting up to the point of causing problems. Now, the funny thing about my auto repair business, I got out of that business around the time when all the cars were becoming computerized, because I didn't have the education behind me, but at that point to deal with the computerized devices in cars, and I didn't have the capital. Really, that was it. I didn't have the capital to buy the equipment that was needed to deal with that. There's a whole lot more story behind my venture into the auto repair business, but that's a story for a different place and time. So then you got to start with the sensor first. That's more on the dog. I'm going to skip over some of that stuff about the car stuff now. Lawn dog to Jeff. I'm getting into that area. That really hurts my type of personality because losing the ability to repair something and giving someone else the job. Yeah, at this point in time, I do know the only thing that I do on my car in terms of servicing is I'll add air to the tires. I don't even do oil changes anymore. And I put gas in the car myself. Really rubs me the wrong way because I'm kind of intentional about doing a repair properly. There's always ways to cut corners. The mechanics kind of do that. And I understand cleaning threads, applying anti-seize compound. More on cars. Josh says, I see everything. Lawn dog, you're crossing conversations when describing a Windows problem. Sometimes it's best just to show the problem. Oh, that is so. And I had that with the client that I mentioned that called that they couldn't log into the server. The screen was dark. I wound up having her send me photos. And the episode that I had a few episodes ago of Windows Daily, where I showed the keyboard with the function key lock. There's so many times that a picture or turning on FaceTime on cell phones just makes it so much easier to solve the problem. I guess I'm a few years younger than you. In my education for auto mechanics, we were in the transition to smog-equipped cars and computerized stuff. Now, actually, there was some computerized stuff in the smog controls on the cars that I was doing, but when I opened my repair shop, it was really it was specializing in engines that needed to be rebuilt. We weren't actually rebuilding the engines. Well, we were taking the engines out of the cars, taking them to the machine shop for the engines to be, the blocks and the heads to be serviced. And then we put it back together and put it in the car. So we were our customers who needed their engine rebuilt would bring the car to us and we would manage that whole process for them. Okay, so that gets me all caught up with chat. I'm going to go show something else that I just chuckle at a little bit about these Windows Daily episodes. Is now that I've changed this naming convention for these shows, the naming convention previously was Windows Daily number whatever, and then some kind of description of the show. Windows Daily number 90, try hack me, and so on. So now I've kind of changed that naming convention a little bit, where the current show is just Windows Daily number, and then we have a number, and then after the show is over, I'll change the title like this one was, How to Fix a Problem Created by Windows Update, and at the end just put the information about which Windows Daily it was. But I got a little chuckle out of this. WD97. If I was using this naming convention back at episode 40, what would that give us? It would have been WD what? WD-40. Well, there again, anybody who's done any auto repair work, they recognize WD-40. So there we are mixing computers and cars again. And then how about this one, WD-95? Well, that's Windows 95, is it? Tomorrow's Windows Daily is going to be 98, so Windows 98. And then what happens when we get up to the end of this number? Is it Windows Daily 2000? Nope. There is no Windows 100. We went from Windows 95, Windows 98, and skipping ME and whatever else there was. But then the next number was Windows 2000. It's going to be a long time before I get to episode 2000 of Windows Daily. I think it's about time to run this down and end this. 39.9999. Oh, instead of Windows Daily number 40, which would have been WD-40. All right. Let's see. That's a chit chat between Lawn Dog and Gary. That's an interesting area to work in. So what did he say where he's working? Since the mid 80s, I've been making performance chips and software tunes. Yeah, Gary does some playtime with race cars. And I mean, seriously, it's not, I don't think it's playtime. I don't think it's fair to call it playtime. Water displacement 40. That's what WD-40 was. Right. I think. Side jobs for Gary. All right, let's go ahead and put this episode to bed. And I'll bring up, let's see, this screen that shows the email address. So from this point forward, until I decide otherwise, if there's some reason, I'm going to be publishing in the chat room Zoom credentials that will be different each day. It's an easy thing to pick up a new password. Really, it's the password that's going to change, so that the links from previous days will not work. You can come into the Zoom session before the live stream starts, and whoever's first into the Zoom session, that's who I'm going to bring on screen first. And we'll hopefully that topic will be something that we can probably name the episode for. I don't know if that's going to wind up being one person per day or not. The waiting room will be on, so I don't think you can tell how many other people are waiting. If you can, you might realize, oh, somebody's already ahead of me, so I'll drop out. I'd encourage you to stay in if you don't mind. Also, I'm going to be scheduling the next episode after this episode ends. So each day, probably within 5 minutes to 30 minutes, the next episode should already be scheduled. So if you have some subject that you think would be interesting content, whether it's a problem you're having, a question you have, or something that you just solved. If it's something that you just solved, you might say, I already solved this, but here's the way the problem presented. And let me talk through how I would respond to that situation. What I'm really focused on is trying to get these Windows Daily episodes shifted around such so that I can title them for one particular topic that would be of interest to end users and or technicians, so that when they see that title, that they might be likely to click on it. And I'd like for this series, Windows Daily, to become known as a place that a person can come to and have the subject discussed. It might be having Doug suggest some ways to solve a problem that they're currently in the midst of. You could also be bringing up some other YouTuber's video on a particular subject and ask for my reflections on that subject. And then, okay, so there's some other comments in chat. I'm going to go read those after I end the stream here, but you will get a redirect to Ken Stout's premiere episode in just a moment. So I hope that was useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.